There are 29 new locally acquired cases of coronavirus in Victoria. 7 people are in hospital, 2 of those are in ICU and they are both on ventilators. There were some 43,618 test results received overnight. I thank each and every one of those nearly 44,000 Victorians who went and got tested. Getting tested as soon as you register any symptoms is absolutely critical. It is not negotiable. You can't wait an hour, you can't wait an afternoon, you certainly can't wait 3 or 4 days. If you've got symptoms, there's so little cold and flu, the doctors tell us there's so little cold and flu in the community that you've got to assume that you've got COVID. Please come and get tested and we'll get your result back to you as quickly as possible. There's arguably nothing more important than people getting tested as soon as they register symptoms. That's how we shut this down. That's how we get not just running alongside these cases, that's how we get out in front of it, and that's how we get our community and our economy opened up again. There are some 82 exposure sites that are linked to this outbreak. I would commend to all Victorians to have a look at the website, just double check whether you might have been anywhere near those places at the relevant times, and if you were, please go and get tested and wait until you get your result. There'll be advice for you if you have been caught up in this outbreak as a result of the places you've been or the people that you've been in contact with. There are just on vaccines, I'm sure we'll come back to this in questions, there's 22,335 doses were administered yesterday. That takes to a total of 1.76 million and 610, so getting on to 1,761,000 doses that have been administered by state clinics since the vaccination program began in the state of Victoria. That is a very significant effort, and I think that sees us at the top of the table, if you like, in terms of state effort across all the country. Last night, I was very pleased to be informed by the Prime Minister after requests that had been made both at National Cabinet and at an officer level before then to receive and have it confirmed from the Prime Minister that we would receive just under 150,000 additional doses of Pfizer. They'll come to us very soon and we'll have more to say about where they will go, as well as some announcements in relation to the expansion into state clinics for younger Victorians, access to the AstraZeneca vaccine with all the appropriate consents, all the appropriate medical and other health information. We'll make those announcements quite soon. Today's not the day for that, but we will make those announcements quite soon. In essence, my message to the Victorian community is this is very, very significant to see this many cases, although they are all linked, but they are linked to outbreaks and we don't know where those 2 outbreaks started. So there are mystery cases that sit behind this. The cases we've found since are linked to others that we knew, but they've been out in the community and there's every reason, in fact there is a certainty that there are more cases out there. That's why getting tested when you've got any symptoms at all is so important. It's why if you're asked to stay at home and isolate, please follow the instructions that are provided to you, and to the broader community, these rules are in place. As painful and as challenging as they are, these rules are in place to drive case numbers down. If we don't follow these rules, then we will, through our own choices, we will drive cases up. That's not what we want. That's not how we get through this and get open again. It's in fact how we, if we make bad choices, the wrong choices, it's how we all play a part in keeping the place closed. We don't want that. So please, I know everyone wants to visit loved ones and friends and family in their homes. You just can't do that. You just cannot do that. So many of these transmissions and others that we will find in the coming days will have been because people were visiting others and they ought not to have been doing that. They shouldn't have been doing that. Now, we can't change that. That's done. But what we can all do is make the best choices for our loved ones and for people we'll never meet. And that is as follows. Getting tested as soon as you register symptoms. Isolating, following the instructions that you're given if you're a close contact, if you are a case. And of course, in general terms, following the rules. This Delta variant spreads so fast. We look up in Sydney today, 5 people who have lost their lives. I think some of those are in their 60s. We saw just this week a gentleman in his 20s. This will go where the vaccine isn't. We don't have enough people vaccinated. We'll finish up with younger people in hospital, otherwise fit and healthy people. Our system will be overrun if we don't bring this under control. That's why these rules are there. That's why we've all got a part to play. You know, I couldn't be more proud of Victoria, what we've been through and what we have overcome. We have it within us to continue to do this work, as tough and as hard and as gruelling as it is, and as much as we would love this to be over. None of us have the luxury of pretending that it is. When we get to 70%, we have more options. When we get to 80%, well, we have a very different way of life. But the only option available to us, as the Prime Minister and every Premier and Chief Minister in this country has agreed and signed up to again yesterday, the only option we have is these lockdowns to stop this Delta variant running wild throughout the community and having many thousands of people simply overrun our hospital system. The final point from me, if any Victorian is unconvinced by that and comes to a conclusion, oh, well, I'm fit and healthy, I won't get COVID. Well, it's not just COVID patients who will struggle to find a machine to breathe, or a nurse that isn't furloughed to care for them, or a hospital that's open to care for them. It'll be people who've suffered strokes, people who have had premature babies, people who have cancer and need urgent surgery, people who have heart attacks. All of that part of our health system would be compromised as well. That's why there's only one option, as painful and as difficult as it is. We've done it before, we will do it again, we will get through this, but everyone's got to play their part. I don't want to focus just on those who aren't. I want to congratulate and thank all of the many millions of Victorians who are. And I just ask that everyone just pause and think about the choices you're making and whether they are contributing to the spread of the virus or whether they're helping us to stop the spread of the virus. That's a pretty simple question to answer. It's also about whether those choices are good for your family and every family, or whether they are in fact making a difficult situation even worse. I'd ask everyone just to think about that and make those decisions and make them in the interests of your own loved ones and everybody else across our state. I'll now ask Jerome to speak to the cases and the outbreaks in a little bit more detail, and then of course we're happy to take any and all questions you have.